Hey YouTube, I'm always post 1975. Interesting question. Can you truly be 100% yourself on YouTube? Now, before everyone jumps down my throat and says, I am, let me explain where I'm coming from. Woodlin37, absolutely top bloke, top channel. I'll put a link to his epic channel, the Doohickey, down below. I really do recommend you go and check him out. He sent me a really interesting question in a PM. And he said, do people have a persona for YouTube? It was a topic that came up in a conversation with his friend, and he said, he's exactly as he is on YouTube, as he is in real life. But yeah, and he thought about it. If you met a YouTuber for the first time, or you met any YouTuber, would they be like they are on their channel in real life? Now, this is an interesting question for me because I met Pete Snestastic for the first time, a week or so ago, and it was brilliant because he very much was like, I'll try and talk there. He is on his channel, and we got on like a house on fire. We had a blast, and it was almost like the introductions were already done or in place because we'd watched each other's videos. So my initial answer to this question was, yeah, people are like, they are on their channel when you meet them in real life. Excuse me. But why this is an interesting question, I have to put out there, by the way, YouTube is a place of entertainment. So there are certain people who will have a persona for YouTube, and there are people who will do their channel, as a character. There's nothing wrong with that. This is a place, as I said, for entertainment. One of my favorite new channels is 90s Video Game Dude, who does every one of his videos as a character, and I really, really enjoy it. I'll put a link to his channel in the Doohickey down below as well. But it's funny because the day I spent hanging out with Pete, if you've not seen that video, I'll put a link in the Doohickey down below. It might be interesting to watch it after I've talked about what I'm going to talk about in this video, and then maybe you could watch it and you could see if, because we're in the same room together, is there a difference between us, because obviously we get to interact with each other. Is there a difference between us than there is on how we come across in our respective channels? I mean, to some degree, we're still talking about video games and stuff, but the reason I say that is, I think that to some degree, and I like to think that I'm as close to me as I can be on YouTube, but I think to some degree, because of how YouTube is, because you're talking to a camera, because it's something that you're uploading to the internet, you're never going to quite truly 100% be exactly who you are. Not because you're being fake, not that reason at all, but talking to the camera, as much as I don't see a camera, I think of my audience, talking to a camera, when it's not a two-way conversation, that will affect how you are. It's only natural, and we all are aware of how we are on the camera. I constantly catch myself looking in the viewfinder, and I don't do this scripted, but if I make a massive cock up or stutter, or just I stop, there's a gap, there's a blank, I'll stop it and I'll start it again. You don't get that luxury in real life. And also another thing I think that will possibly stop you truly 100% being yourself is it's the internet. I mean, we have brilliant friendships and relationships on here that we've built up over years, but at the same time we're constantly aware of we don't know who is watching us. So you'll never truly 100% be yourself. And then there's the aspect that, because this is, I do, other videos from time to time and rants and things like that, stuff that I'm passionate in, because this is essentially a video game channel, there's a whole other side to me that will not necessarily ever crop up on here. This is what's funny about when I met Pete for the first time. We talked about a whole bunch of stuff that we would never ever dream of talking about on our channels, everything from politics to just everyday stuff, observations, but stuff that was not relevant to our channels. So this is why I'm thinking, to some degree, you're never going to be truly 100% perfect reflection of yourself on here. I like to think I'm approachable, and I like to think that when you watch me, you know that I am like this, and I am, but not 100%, that there is stuff that I would never share, because it's personal to me, and I don't mean like, properly deep personal stuff, but touching upon what I said earlier, if it's not relevant to the video I'm making, not relevant to the discussion I'm making, then you will never ever know about it. So if you met me in public and you started talking to me, or you brought up a specific topic out there in the news at the moment that I'm passionate about, you might be properly surprised. So I would love to know what you think about this, because I do honestly think that while we can, you know, we will come across. Look at me, I'm stammering already. We come across. That's why it's an interesting question. It's always a giveaway. We come across, you know, as much as we would like to think we do as ourselves in the real world, we will never truly 100% be able to do that via this medium. Or maybe I'm completely and utterly wrong. There is no right or wrong answer. I would love to know what you think. I think technically, ultimately, the only people who could say that we're exactly the same in real life would be those who've Skyped us. You know, and even then, that's a phone conversation. It's not the same as being, you know, one-on-one in public, or those that have met us. It's really, really funny, because on that subject, there was one thing that Pete did say to me that made me laugh, and I never even thought about this, was because when I was outside his house, I called him, because, you know, I didn't know if I was outside the right house. And when I was in the house, he said, "Dude, you sound a lot more Bristolian in real life than you do on your YouTube channel." And this is what I mean, you know, talking through a camera to an audience will never be, it will give a direct representation of yourself to 100%. Or will it, or can it? That's not to say that I disagree with Woodlin, because I completely agree with Woodlin in the sense that, you know, I like to think I am like this pretty much, and Woodlin has to be one of the most watchable, you know, and enjoyable people on it, because he's just 100% himself. But at the same time, can this medium truly, you know, allow you to be that? I don't know. I've started to waffle. I would love to know what you think. Can you truly 100% be yourself on YouTube, or simply is the nature of the beast restrictive ever so slightly? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'd love to know what you think. Go and check his channel out. Oh, and go and check out 90 Video Game Dude channel out as well. See you later.